What's good, everyone? Welcome to another reading. Um, Today we've got a reading on inner. Now you could interpret this however you wish. It could be like your inner power, your inner self, your inner soul, your inner inspiration. But the kind of vibe is inner. So we're going inside and figuring something out, exploring something. And with that, hopefully, you can get some wisdom or some confirmations on life. As always, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Feel free to pause the video. Start with pile number 1s. Okay, pile number 1s. Your inner. Just sitting on the energy. I was almost getting vibrations of heartbeat. As I'm drawing this now, it's almost giving me like Egyptian vibes. Probably from the hair. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you see? What do you feel, pile number 1s? That hair's almost like a curtain. So your inner could be exploring like an unveiling of something. I think this is kind of Ma'at energy too. Probably pronouncing it wrong. It's got that vibe. Sorry for the background noise, although they're probably just confirmations. Yeah, what do you see? What do you feel? Inner. There's a sense of balance there. I'm just going to sit on it a little bit longer because I'm trying to see where the energy is coming from. I think it's here. So inner, that be womb? I think so, I would class that as womb. Let's just make sure we're centered. So inner womb type energy. And Ma'at, don't know much about that energy. It comes up a lot in these readings though, so might be worth exploring that part ones. I haven't really been called myself to research into that energy, but so womb, balance, curtain. This energy is kind of giving me it's kind of hard. It's not giving me it's a little bit like when I'm speaking with God. Like when I'm praying or speaking with God, God never gives me the straightforward answer personally. If I'm connecting with spirit guides and other energies, I can literally get the information quite directly sometimes. Obviously that goes through God though, but with God it's there's this energy here. There's an energy there, I should say, of you've got to figure it out, you know. So part number ones, this is kind of continuing that energy. It's probably more on the feminine side of that energy. But you know, God is neither male or female. But that energy does come through me in a more masculine way. This would be the feminine version of that. It's the same type of energy, but on the feminine side. So yeah, part number ones, I think this is one of those readings where you're gonna have to literally do your own reading a little bit. Like I've just given you these clues. Balance, womb energy, and kind of curtain. So you're gonna have to pull those things together. I'm not getting a direct message. I feel like those 3 points, I can make sense of it, but I feel like you've got to do the work in deciphering it. If that's womb, literally, or we're talking about creativity, etc., etc. Balance, are we talking about, what are we talking about the balance of? And then there's the curtain of the head area. It could be like an opening. If I was to give like a animation of this drawing, it would almost be like before she gets into this position, her hair was over her face and she's opened up her hair to see, and then struck this pose. So part number one, sorry I couldn't give you like literally the direct keys like I usually do, but just wasn't there in this reading, and I think it was purposeful, so I'm not going to force it. Thank you for being here, pile number ones. If you enjoyed the reading, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Okay, pile number 2's your inner. I know what this is. So, pile number 2's, this is kind of talking about pointing the finger. There's something maybe in your inner that you might need to work through, in terms of being judgmental. Now, I say that because my personal perception of this is that I think we're all judgmental. Therefore, that's why we should avoid being as judgmental as we can. I feel like I don't know if it mentions it in the Bible, but I think judgment is one of the biggest sins that people do. That they're kind of ignorant to. Like, I lost count of how many people have told me that they're not judgmental, but they're the same type of people who would cross the street if there's a man with a hoodie walking by, or not date a homeless person. Like, judging is just this kind of annoying thing that we do as humans, almost like survival. It's almost that reptilian side of the brain. And I think when we ignore that it's there, I think we're just lying to ourselves. So I'm not here. Pile number 2 is pointing the finger at you, saying you're being too judgmental because, or maybe you are, but what I'm not trying to say is that I'm not judgmental myself, because I saw it in myself, like a mile off. It was very clear to me. Now, I understand that everyone's got a different perception of what being judgmental is. Like, some people view being judgmental as they maybe see something, like, for example, let's use that man who has the hoodie and is walking on the same side of the road as you, and it's a dark night, and someone might say, well, I'm not judgmental, I'm just being safe. That's the smart thing to do. But then the thing that I would argue is that what made you think that the person with the hoodie on is not safe? Do you understand? I'm not even trying to be a smart ass with it. It's just, when you go down that rabbit hole, you basically find yourself in the place that you've judged. And then you might say, well, actually, no, I'm not judging the person. because I crossed the road and I realised that there could be danger there, but I'm not actually projecting judgment onto that person, you know? I understand that there's possible danger there, but I'm not judging them for it. They could be a nice guy. They could be a nice person. And then my question obviously is then stay on the same side of the road. Do you understand? It's like, I don't know if it's a sick trick from God, but at least for me, I come to realize that we all judge and like, but I guess it's okay, or not even okay, but it's just part of being human. There is a part of all of us which, when we're honest with ourselves, you know, I think, yeah, when we're honest with ourselves, we all judge. Now, I think maybe where we can kind of give ourselves a little bit of like be a bit lighter on ourselves is that I think sometimes people judge extraordinary, like very negatively. So there's judging, like there's the skill, if you like, to judge someone to make a logical or a good decision. You know, so that's a key part of being human, because sometimes when we're judging for our own, as I said, safety or our own well-being, for a choice that benefits us, which comes back to selfishness, which I mentioned in another video. We all selfish and we all judge. It's crazy, hard pill to swallow, but it's true. I think sometimes what people do is they, so everyone judges, but like some people just judge really cruelly and really harshly, I think is the word. People judge really harshly sometimes, and I think that's something that we can avoid as humans. We know that we're going to hiccup, slip up, and misjudge people sometimes. But to really harshly judge someone, especially when you don't have enough information on the situation, I think that is something which we can pull up. We can say to someone, I think you're judging that person a bit harshly, you know? But to say that I judge or I don't judge and you do judge, so you're bad, I think that kind of conversation is really outdated and not intelligent. You know, I think it's as stupid as people who say that they don't sin. You know, everyone sins. So pole number 2, I think there's that saying of for every time you point the finger at someone, there's 10 fingers pointed back at you or something like that. I think that's kind of something to bear in mind. I think your message could be as simple as, you know, you might be one of those people who haven't admitted that you actually do judge people. You might be on your white horse a little bit. But to that I say, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Just to have the awareness, and, you know, sometimes when we are accidentally judging people, I think that process of enlightenment helps a lot, you know, when you're on your spiritual path. Because when you come from a perspective where we are literally all as one, you realize when you're pointing the finger at someone, you're pointing your finger literally at yourself, you know? So whenever I'm having a conversation with someone, let's say they're asking me for advice, I always think to myself, like, how could I word this where if I was receiving this advice, it would be easier for me to take? And I also think in my head, am I doing the same thing? Am I practicing what I preach? I do literally try and do that. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Part number two is I'm not saying that I've got all the answers. I'm not that stupid, but you know, even if it's like romantic, like a romantic relationship I might have been in or anything like that, like I really try and come from a perspective of one, this is a reflection of me, and two, am I good at this thing that I think this other person's not good at? You know, am I just throwing rocks from a glass house? And I think the answer there is kind of like, yes, we always are. Because even when we think we know something, there's a higher vibration of that. So we're always technically throwing that rock from the glass house. If you're religious or even open-minded with spirituality, I think like the stories of Jesus or Yeshua are good examples of that. You know, if you've ever read the Bible, to be honest, most of the characters in the Bible are good examples of that. You know, like I think the name is Job in the Bible. Like, dude literally had everything taken from him, and he still didn't even like curse God, didn't say a bad word. Like, automatically when I heard that story, I was humbled, because I was like, in my positions where I felt that feeling or similar to, man, like, I am not on that level where I could keep it maybe together physically, so people thought that I was good physically. Like, okay, Zed's not having the mental breakdown, like he's alright. I don't know how he's alright, but he's alright. But spiritually, like in my prayers, man, I was cursing, I was angry. In my culture, we say vex. My grandparents were from the Caribbean. Vex, they use the word vex. It's an English word, but not many English people use it. I was vexed when I was listening to that story with Job, and there's many other stories in the Bible where it's just like these characters just had some crazy faith. Like, I thought I had crazy faith, but then, you know, when you're really pushed to the edge, you realise, damn, that faith weren't as big as I thought. You know, so part number two is, you know, like, I don't know who it is or what it is that's going to kind of give you that message, but just remember, and you might be listening to this and saying it doesn't resonate, like, I got my shit together, this isn't me. I don't really point the finger at anyone, but with that, just have that vibration of, I'm always open to listen though, just like how I'm saying to you that I'm doing this reading and this can be a reflection of me. I've got no shame in that. I can always say to someone that I'm willing to improve the way that I'm judging still. When you can hold that vibration, you're on the right path, I think. So part number two is, I hope you was able to get something from this. If you were, or if you did, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com, and I'll see you in the next reading. Take care. Okay, part number three is Just sitting on the energy. A small note to you, part number 3 is obviously, what do you see, what do you feel? The small note was the legs were slightly apart here. Don't know. Your legs slightly apart. There's maybe something to do with like, so it's your inner. There's something here with almost like stability, like you'll be able to be a bit more stable when your legs are apart. When I'm saying that out loud, it's almost, maybe it's pointing the finger at my dirty mind, but until I repeated that, I was like, there's more stability when your legs are apart. It kind of almost turned sexual, and that's strange because this is more on the masculine side. In terms of a reading, where's that going? I don't feel like it is sexual. I think it's more like, it reminds me almost of when I was younger, I used to do karate. It was a really good thing that my mum did, actually. Shout out to my mum. She made all my brothers do karate when we were younger. And, you know, sometimes we were excited to go, and then other times, you know, as kids are, like, you just can't be bothered. But, yeah, in hindsight, that was a really good thing that she did there. I'm grateful to her for her doing that. But the point is when you're doing karate, you learn a lot about, and this is going back a while, but this is through reflecting on it with adult eyes as well, to be honest. But like, you do learn a lot about stability. So when you're in certain stances, you understand your body better in terms of, okay, I'm more balanced here. When you're doing certain kicks, you realize certain kicks are actually just harder because you're on one leg, and the way that you're pivoting your body and finding stability, it's, you know, you're testing the body and its stability in that way. Like you're learning. You could argue the same is for punches as well. Not so much so, but yeah, you know, like a secure punch. There's stances, right? And I think Spirit is trying to tell you that you need to let your legs go apart a little bit, like, in order for stability to be gained or even maintained. Like when I pause on that, it is making me it is making more sense. It's reminding me of someone who's just a little bit too rigid. You know, when you pull up to the house party, can't remember the last one of those I went to, getting old and that. But when you pull up to a house party and there's the person who's just rigid and they're very closed up, there's maybe something that Spirit is reminding you of pile number 3 is where your energy can come across a little bit that way. And if it's not on in a social matter, it's in terms of like whatever you're trying to achieve. There's maybe if it is just like almost financial stability, there's something about that maybe you need to embrace more of the extroverted energy. You need to, like the word just came through of like marketing. You need to market yourself better. You need to like get yourself out there. Almost this character is actually expressing it when you pause on it. Actually, it's this person is saying like, look at me, but it's not even look at me like ringing the loud bell. It's almost like kind of like a Tai Chi pose. Like a Tai Chi pose, expanding, inhaling and expanding the air, you know. It's the exhale. It's you're looking at me because I'm exhaling, you know, and the exhale is releasing beautiful energy that you just have to look at. This person isn't shouting for attention, no. You know, they're just on the expand, they are attracting energy. If this was singing, it's almost opera opposed to heavy metal or rap. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't deny that. I know you know what I'm saying, Pile Freeze. Like, this is opera, do you know what I'm saying? This is the long note at a kind of, maybe not a higher pitch, but, you know, a higher sounding note. You know, it's that moment. This isn't turn up. This ain't turn up energy. And it isn't rock on energy either. So, yeah, part number 3 is that's the vibration coming through. I'll just re-emphasize as well, the gem is almost a bit more of a relaxation energy in order to release your inner power, relax into it. Inhale and exhale. Focus on the exhale being the thing that's going to attract people, bring people in. And with that, Pile Freeze, I'm going to call it a day. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Check out the If You Pause website, ifyoupause.com. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.